Dr. Kriss, how do we warm up our voice to sing a high-pitched song without straining it?
Okay. Now, high-pitched song, you have to make sure that it is within your reach.
Okay.
So, warming up, it's the same procedure. The word Om, when we are doing warm-up for your muscle or a vocal cord, that you do normally. Your breathing also you practice. The pitch actually depends on how high you can go. If you're going beyond your range of singing, that's why if you take Carnatic singing, the Indian method is to teach you that your Shruti is like, say, 1.5 or 1 or 2, instead of looking at scales. Whereas in Western, you say you sing C, you sing D or C sharp or F sharp. So that depends on the person's ability to sing how high you can go. If you take Western singing, there are people they will categorize when you're trying to put to harmony. They will categorize you into soprano, alto, and tenor high. So you are classified according to how high you can go. Similarly, for classical music, we say uru kattai, ondra kattai, say 1 kattai, 2 kattai. So that's the level to which you can sing. So if you're singing within your reach, you can go to the maximum. If you're singing beyond your reach, you will damage your throat. So you have to keep within the limits of the ability, and proper breathing and constant exercise. Slowly you can increase the range also.
What made you start this voice training?
Way back in 2017, when I wanted to leave voicing industry, like when I wanted to leave radio as such, what I was thinking was that whatever I got, say from my mentors, from my experience, from my radio life, whatever I got, if I don't give it to someone else, how will it survive? So I wanted to give that knowledge which I got from all the people and from my experience, and that made me start the first ever voicing or voice coaching system. It was called Vox Populi. I had about 10 students, and slowly when I started helping them out and trained them, they became voice artists. And I really found that it's a good thing to do. And from that 10 people to an extent of say 5,500 plus people now, from 2017 to 2024, over the 7 years, I've been training people to be voice artists or improve their voice for their personal use. So it all started with the idea that whatever I learned, I should give back to the world.
Is there any person who was your inspiration to learn voice?
So many people. When I was a child, I used to listen to radio, and there is a radio in Sri Lanka called Maharaja Radio. And there is a very well-known voice artist. His name is Abdul Hamid. So when I heard him initially, his voice used to attract me so much. There was this person called Amin Sayani, who used to come on Indian radio. He inspired me a lot. There are people whose voice remains in my heart for so long, like Morgan Freeman, God's voice in English movies. I really like that voice. So many people and their voice have influenced me. So if I talk about one inspiration, it will be too bad. So many people inspired. And later on, when television started getting popular, I really saw Abdul Hamid on television. He was presenting a show when he comes and says, "Ladka in party ke party." Then I remember that this is the same voice which I heard many years back in like that particular show which I heard in Sri Lankan Maharaja Radio, the same person. So that inspiration increased. For television, when I saw a Khaitan fans ad, I saw Amin Sayani for the first time as a person, and in person, I worked with him many years later. So inspirations, they come into your life also. You get to meet them, get to know them, and that inspiration continues. If you take very famous voices like Amitabh Bachchan, meeting him was that inspiration where I have heard his voice, I have seen him, I'm meeting him in person. Abdul Hamid, when I see him on television, this is the same voice I've heard. So inspiration is a constant thing, and it can happen for many people. And probably I really like the voice of my grandfather. So whatever I heard, the stories he told me, that has inspired me to be a storyteller. I really like my uncle who used to do mimicry for me. for the fun part of it. I learned it from him. So many people have inspired, including my sister, my uncle, my father, my grandfather, great artists like Abdul Hamid, Amin Siani, so many people, or Harish Bhimani, who actually voiced for Mahabharat. So different people, they have influenced at a different level, and so many people have inspired me. Trying to understand at the age what you are at now, when you are really inspired by people, you start learning that more. So as much as possible, get inspired by people. Look at people who have achieved something and try learning how they did it. And when you implement in life, then you feel that happiness. That's what happened with me.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kriss.
You're welcome.